Hi, I'm Peter Kalmstrom of kalmstrom.com Business Solutions. In this demonstration, I'll talk about batch removal of SharePoint items in a SharePoint list from a Canvas app. So we're going to just put another button on to do that. I'm just going to call it batch removal. And let's do that one over there. Well, let's just remove everything. Let's just clear all the tasks. Alright, it's a bit of a dangerous thing, but anyhow, let's do that. So, in order to remove all of these items now, I need to loop through all the items in the gallery, all the ones that are currently showing. So, I'm going to do the for all. That is the for loop, or the iteration functionality in Power Apps. So, I'm going to loop the gallery, tasks to do, all items. So that will represent all the items that are currently showing in that gallery. And then I'm going to do something, and then we're going to close the loop. So in order to make this slightly more readable, I'm going to do this for all command on several rows. But that's the syntax. Now we just need to do something in here, right? To remove the items, I'll just do remove, tasks to do. And the item I want to remove is this record, because I'm looping, and this record means the current item that I'm looping around. So for each of the items I want to remove from the tasks to do. And what item do I want to remove there? I want to remove the current item. And since I'm looping that collection already, I already have that here, and it's in the variable called this record. And this is all one row, by the way. I just put an extra line break here, but this one is strictly not necessary because this is all one function call. So let's try it. And my scroll bar is changing here, so this is happening. And they're all becoming removed. Alright, so that is a slightly dangerous button. It removes everything, but as you see, it worked just fine. And if I go back to my communication site and just refresh this, you'll see that they all went into the recycle bin now. Alright, so that was a kind of nuke them all button here, or destroy everything. Alright, so let's, of course we can put a notify in here, but I've already shown that in another demo. So let's do another thing instead on batch removal, and that is if I want to select the ones that should be removed instead. So let's just do a new screen. So I'll insert a new screen in my app. I'll just select the list one, and instead of showing the image for each and every one, I want to use just titles. And we don't want to go into details from that one, but instead I want to have just a checkbox. So let's move that one over a bit. We can move it up so it doesn't have to be that big. Make the whole template a bit smaller. There we go. And now I'm going to insert a checkbox here. Since I selected inside the gallery, it gets added to every item on that row, which is exactly what I want. So let's take that away so that we can see. And of course that option, I don't want that option to be text there. I just want it to be empty, just a checkbox. So and this title here is just going to be select items to remove. You can just hide this one for now to focus on what we're doing here, and we're not adding new items. Let's move that away. Alright, and the search, we can just hide that one also now, the whole box. Search icon, let's take that away also. Search box, alright, everything. Alright. So now we have tightened that up a bit, and now of course we're going to select the source for that, the gallery, and that's going to be our not all of that, not the example, but we're going to use the tasks to do, right? That's our data source. And then we can select this item title. Now we don't actually have any data in that, so that's why it's empty, because I am showing how to remove stuff, and yeah, I have removed stuff now. So let's select a bunch of ones here that I want to restore. And then to refresh my data source now again, I can just go in here under the data and select refresh. There we go. Now I have my items there, and now I can just run these, and as you see, I can check them off. These are the ones that I want to remove, and then I just need a remove button at the bottom here to actually do the work. First of all, let's do the gallery. This is the gallery for items to remove, right? And then we're going to add a button at the bottom here. Remove selected. Caption on, remove selected. Very good. Make that a bit bigger. And then let's write the code. First of all, we're going to loop through all the items for all. And the all that we're going to be working with in this is the gal items to remove. And of course I need to work with the all items in that those are all the visible items in that list. So for each, then we're going to do something. So that closes this parentheses. So that's the main action. But now inside that loop, we're going to do an if statement. We're going to check if this record, checkbox 1, value equals true. In that case, we're going to remove it, right? This record. Let's get these parentheses right so that we don't have too many error messages. And now let's remove from tasks to do this record. And this record refers to an item in the SharePoint list. Alright, so that should do it. A bit of a complex code there, but we're looping through all the items. We're checking if the checkbox is true, that is if it's been selected, and then we're removing it. Notice that the all items here in this record is actually the item in the gallery, which is of course the task list in SharePoint, but it's also referring to the template which is inside the gallery. So for each template here we have a checkbox 1. So that's why this code works. So that this record, when we're looping against the gallery, it actually contains the controls within that template also. So that's a rather fascinating way of doing a programming language, but it does work. So let's try it. So let's run this now. Select item 6, 9, and 7, or 9, and remove selected. And it's working. Great. So let's see if they're gone. Let's go back to the task to do, and there should only be even ones there. So yes, it does work as it should. Alright, so that is the demo on how to do a removal from SharePoint items. Both we have this select screen here and also the clear. So those are two different ways of doing it, and in both cases of course I'm looping through the items and I'm removing it, the current record. So that concludes this demo. Thank you for watching.